Hello, in this video we are going to talk about modules. Let's get to it. So with modules, you can kind of think of them as libraries, something that you can do over and over again, but in actually a better case because you're just doing it just once and referencing it over and over again. And essentially how modules work is that they hold method that you want to have shared or reused. And this kind of goes into being dry, which means do not repeat yourself. And we'll go into a much more in-depth of what that means and how to be dry. But with dry code itself, it means that you're not repeating yourself or copying pasting, and it clears up your code a lot and makes it a lot more efficient. Now this contrasts with wet code where you write everything every time. And this is where you would have to copy and paste or have to rewrite a single line of code over and over again. And again, that is not as efficient as dry code, and it actually would slow down your program a lot if you're not being dry. Modules are a dry method, so you can clean up your code so that you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again. And most cases, you can just signify a module with the keyword module. But the thing about modules is that even though it's an object itself, it can't make other objects. If you want to make other objects, you might have to think about other types of data types or even a class. But in most cases, how you would be using modules is you would have to have items, especially methods, for you to be stored within the module that you want to have shared or reused. Now with a module, we're actually going to be using the Ruby language just because it signifies the module keyword. And here within the module itself, you just need to specify the keyword module and also the name of the module. I call it math here. And in most cases, modules, names are uppercase. Depending on your programming language, you need to follow that convention. And here I just have some methods that I'm using over and over again. So instead of me copying and pasting the add or even cube, which is a much more annoying thing to type every single time, you can just have them be its own method within the module, or any other methods that you're using over and over again, or any lines of code that you're using over and over again. You can put them within the module itself, and then you can use them in any file or in any other places within the file. And how it's being used is that once you have the module defined, then you can go into whatever it is you're using, whether in another file or within another object like a class here. And in this case, we're using it within a class called homework. You need to include it, and you might have to include it from another file or from just the same file. However it is you need to include it, you have to include it within your class itself. That means that you're taking everything that is within this module and you're putting it right here. So those two methods that I have, the sum and the cube, now are inside of this class for me to use. And it technically is just right here taking place of sum and cube. So now I can use that to my advantage. And now for my solution 1 for my homework assignment, I can just do the sum and then the cube root of 3. And that will calculate and return the exact same way of how it would if I had the method defined here. And not only can I use this within this homework assignment, I can also use it in other homework assignments in the future and in other places within the same homework assignment. It actually really cleans up my code a lot. And using math as an example is really tough for modules because math is pretty easy. It's just a little symbol that does addition or subtraction. But you can actually use modules a lot more efficiently for if you're doing like printing out a name, or if you're looping through an element over and over again. That will actually be a better case of how you would use a module. But for this example, I know it isn't as practical as other examples, but this is just to give you a good feel of how you would use a module and how they are used and defined and created. And that pretty much sums up modules. There's not really much to modules. Again, you would use them like libraries, and in most cases, libraries are modules anyways, and they are holding methods or other logic that you are going to be used or shared within other files as well as other objects. And that is modules. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment below, and I will see you in the next video. See ya.